Hi everyone, in this video you will learn how to edit and manage quizzes created in Google Forms. To access your quizzes, go to the Applications box, click on Google Drive and it will take you to the main page of Google Drive. Double click on the document that you previously created. A new window will be shown and your quiz will appear here. There are some recommendations for you to follow. First of all, check that your quiz has a name. This is optional, but you can also include a subtitle. Remember that you are asking your students to provide their names and their emails. Check that you have all the questions and that your questions have the same number of answers. In my case, 4. Another important point is to check that all the questions are required. Questions that are required are marked with an asterisk. In this case, this question doesn't have the asterisk. This means that this is not required. If you don't mark it as required, students may skip it. So let's set this as required. Mark this button and it will automatically be marked as required. Another aspect is that I haven't chosen an answer for my question. So to edit this, go to the answer key and choose the correct answer. I went. As you can see, now there is a check mark. Also, remember to include the number of points for your questions, and you can also provide feedback on the correct or incorrect answers. In my case, I chose to provide a legend for the incorrect answer, but you can do the same for the correct answers. Click Save, Done, and this will be finished. After you finish editing all the questions and answers, you can visualize your document. Click in the Preview button. In this section you will see your quiz as it will be shown to your students. 10 questions. This quiz will require students to provide their emails and their names. I'm going to take this test and I'm going to answer it incorrectly, so we see what it will look when I complete the quiz. Remember that there are some required fields. I need to enter my email. If you omit any of these fields, you won't be able to submit your quiz for evaluation. I have completed everything. I submit and I can see my scores immediately. Here I get the wrong ones and there is feedback. The correct answer is when, because it's a simple pass form. In the correct answers there's no feedback, but in the wrong ones there is feedback. That's something you decide when you create your quiz at the beginning. As a professor, you can also select some settings for your quizzes to do certain things, and to do that we're going to go to the settings. Here you can tell Google Forms to collect email addresses. You can also limit the number of times students can take the quiz. In this case, limit to 1 response. If you limit to 1 response, students will be required to log in using their email account. But if you don't want to limit it, they can take it without using any email account. Remember that you are going to ask for it at the beginning of the question. Okay, we are not going to use these options because this means that we are going to allow students to edit their quiz after submitting, and we don't want that. In the presentations options, we can ask Google Forms to provide a progress bar. We can also ask it to shuffle the questions. Finally, we are going to click in Save. When all your students have completed the quiz, you can see their responses. For example, the quiz that I took and which I answered incorrectly is here. My score is only 3 points. I have my email and I have my name. You can see bars with graphs that indicate how many students answered correctly and how many students answered incorrectly. If you want to visualize the data, you can click in View Responses in Sheets. If this is the first time you are clicking this button, it will ask you if you want Google to create a spreadsheet. Click and accept yes, and finally you will see the information of the quiz. For example, R. Blazan or Rolando got only 3 out of 10. You will see the answers that were given, and you can analyze this data later on for each student. This is the end of this tutorial. I will see you in the next one.